All right, group one, so you chose the Modern Witch deck. So we're gonna go ahead and use this to pull some cards for you. What is it that people find attractive about you? Okay, so you got the Ace of Cups coming out first. So this is really, really wonderful. I think the biggest thing about you, group one, is that you really have a lot of love to offer people. You're just very kind and giving, like right from the get-go. You know, you could have just met somebody and, you know, right off the bat, they love you. You have a very bubbly energy to you. You just have so much love to give. I feel like there's just an overflow of love and appreciation that you have for friends, for family, for strangers. And this is something that people notice right off the bat. I feel like they can even see it from afar too with this Three of Wands. It's kind of like your energy is so bright, and you know, maybe some of you have a really big social media presence, or maybe some of you guys just have like a big group of people, or like a lot of friends across the globe, or a lot of friends in a lot of different places. But I just feel as though there's a lot of people who can see your magnificence and who can see this kind of like loving energy from afar. Like, you just kind of naturally give off the vibe that you're a really good person. You just give off the vibe that, you know, you've got a lot of good things going for you, that you're very sweet, that you're very kind. People can generally make those guesstimations when they look at pictures of you, or when they like hear somebody talk about you. So you have a lot of people saying really good things about you, because there could even be people that you don't know who like you and find you attractive. And like people who talk about you and kind of say like, oh, you know, he or she is really, really nice and really sweet. You have to get to know them, like that kind of thing. So I kind of get the impression that you have a lot of good people in your life who talk very highly of you, and who find your, yeah, look at this. You got the Three of Pentacles. This is all about collaboration. So there's definitely people around you who talk about you very highly. You possibly have a strong group of maybe like 3 friends who are always like hanging around you. These people are always like telling their friends about you. Like they might be telling, you know, other people about you. They may try to hook you up with people, that kind of thing. But you have this everything is fine here with this Ten of Swords. The energy that I'm getting from this card is that a lot of you actually don't see the beauty and the radiance that you emit whenever you go out. It's kind of like you may be down on yourself a lot. Like a lot of you may have a really low self-esteem. Like you may be the type of person that's always kind of bagging on yourself and always kind of like looking at pictures of yourself. Like, look at this. Like she's kind of looking at her phone and like a little bit disappointed. I kind of see this as like, and look at this. Isn't it kind of funny that there's a rainbow on this card? Like, I don't know if you guys can kind of see it. It's almost like even though you see yourself a certain way, everybody else sees you as like this beautiful, colorful person, you know? But the way I was kind of seeing this everything is fine is like, this is somebody who really goes and looks at like the details of themselves. Like when you take a picture, like you might zoom in and be like, oh, that one pimple, I can't post this. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. Like you might be a little too nitpicky with yourself. And I think there's a lot of other people who see your beauty even when you don't. I'm also hearing somebody has really long legs or like really long limbs. Like I'm hearing miss legs, or like, I don't know. And I think this might actually be something that you're quite insecure about. Like you might be insecure about your height. Keep in mind, guys, like we all want what we don't have. So there's people who don't have your qualities who desperately want them. You know what I mean? Who see you and they're like, oh my God, that's the epitome of beauty right there. Look at this, the Star card. I feel like some of you look really good when you're naked. I know that sounds like really weird. But like some of you may be very insecure when you take your clothes off. I think that you might actually have confirmation, like some of you who are in a relationship or some of you who have people around you who like see you without clothes, they may tell you like you have a really beautiful body. You don't have to do anything to manipulate your body. But again, it's just going back to that like tender and caring nature that I think a lot of you have. A lot of you are also very emotionally balanced as well with the Justice card. This is somebody who sees things very fair, like a very fair person. They see kind of like the middle ground between things. And I think this is like what people love about you. Like you're very fair. You're not super extreme when it comes to anything. You know, you're really balanced, you're really chill. That's one word that I keep hearing is like super chill. With the Justice card, this is the energy of Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus, which embodies beauty, right? Like it's the sign of beauty and aesthetic. So I think that here with the Justice card, this indicates proportional features. So some of you have very naturally proportional features, which is a scientific indicator of attractiveness. So I feel as though a lot of you are very like conventionally attractive. Like you might be the type that like looks like a model, even though some of you hate on yourselves. Like you might literally be model status, okay? You may have Libra placements, you may have Aquarius placements, you could have, I'm getting really strong air sign energy here, strong Aquarius and Libra, but I do think some of you may also have water sign placements, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. Yeah, look at this, the Empress. What am I telling you guys? The Empress is literally the embodiment of physical beauty. I mean, this card is literally the beautiful card. Like this is the card of beauty. Like when this comes up in a spread, it indicates somebody who's very physically attractive, especially with the star. I mean, this is like, I'm telling you guys, like this is literal model status. Like some of you may end up getting paid for your beauty. Like you may end up getting like modeling gigs, acting gigs, commercial gigs, like that kind of thing, because people want to see you. They want to see you. I'm seeing somebody being a hand model, like you might be a hand model or something like that, because somebody has really nice long fingers. Again, it's just going back to those really long and slender aesthetic features. All right, so some of you may have a very chiseled face, you might have a very long face, and that might be something that it's kind of like all the things that I'm pointing out here might be the things that you're insecure about, but they're like the things that people find attractive about you. Like literally the things that you may hate about yourself are the things that people love about you. And I feel like some of you may even be saving up to like get work done or something, or you might be saving up to change something about your looks. Now, of course, like, you know, everybody has the right to do what they will, but I think that you should maybe take a little bit more time to think about it, because I really feel as though a lot of you have very beautiful features. But the Empress and the King of Cups is indicating that like this is somebody who, even though they're beautiful, like they're very kind and giving and loving, right? Like they don't let their attractive features change who they are inside. So this is someone who their beauty starts out on the inside and radiates on the outside. So not only are you beautiful on the outside, you're also beautiful on the inside. I think you have a lot to offer. I think a lot of you are very financially generous here with the Knight of or the King of Pentacles. You may have a lot going for yourself. Like a lot of you may have very stable careers. I'm seeing somebody who could be like a lawyer, or somebody who like works in law, somebody who works in like maybe for a magazine company. I don't know. But I feel as though somebody here has like a really stable career for themselves, and this is another thing that makes you attractive. I think there's a lot of people that like see you as like the prize, group one, with the star card. This is like, that's my kind of man, that's my kind of woman. Look at all these rainbows that keep coming out. There could be a lot of LGBT people in this reading as well. But what I'm seeing here is there's just something about you that like, boom, it just radiates. I keep hearing, have my babies, have my babies. Like somebody wants to have babies with you because like you're so attractive and you have so many great qualities about you. Like you just have a lot of good genes. That's what I'm hearing, is like somebody has a lot of good genes. You got the stork in this photo, so I'm hearing like, have my babies. You could hear somebody say that soon, or you could have heard somebody say that to you, or like, I want to have your babies. But one of the biggest things that I'm picking up that keeps harping on in this reading, keeps coming up, is this idea that you have this inner beauty that radiates. And honestly, group one, I think you have a lot of people who are maybe jealous of you. Like you may experience a lot of jealousy from other people. You may have a hard time like keeping connections, keeping friends, because people get very jealous of you. People may betray you. Like I think a lot of people, look at this with the everything is fine and the Five of Swords. It's kind of like, you know, you may sense things from people and you kind of brush them off. Like you might sense like catty energy or like jealous energy from people and you just kind of like brush it off. I think you should pay more attention to that. If you want my honest opinion, I think there's even some people in your life right now that might not necessarily have your best interests at heart. They're kind of jealous of you. Like there's people who see like your prosperity. They see like that you are a prized person. And it's not even because you're out here like flaunting it, you know what I mean? Like, I think you're just genuinely being you. Like, some of you are really just being you. And, you know, I think there's other people that get rubbed the wrong way, but that's not your fault. You know, that has nothing to do with you. That's entirely to do with these people. So I think some of you kind of give these people the benefit of the doubt a lot. And I think it's important during this time to like really, really analyze these people and completely like disconnect from anybody who gives you a lick of that energy. Because when you do, I think a lot of you are going to come into an opportunity that allows you to use these beautiful qualities, not just physical qualities, but the emotional and personality qualities that you have, to really, really shine. Because even though you have your together and a lot of you have a lot of stuff going for you, I think some of you haven't even scratched the surface of what you're meant to do. As far as like maybe your career goes, because I really, really think a lot of you don't quite recognize how your career is going to have something to do with your looks. I really think there's a lot of models in this reading. High Priestess, I'm telling you, some of you have already kind of seen the shadiness. Some of you have seen some shadiness from people, or like you get like shady energy. I don't know, I'm getting the energy of like social media queen, social media king, like e-boy, e-girl vibes. Like somebody here has that energy to them. Some of you may be like TikTok stars, or like you might get famous on Instagram or something like that. But there is a vibe of like doing something on the internet or posting yourself more, like posting more pictures of yourself, taking more pictures of yourself, guys. Like share your beauty with the world, okay? Even when you're feeling down like this. And some of you may be watching this reading and being like, Hannah, no, I am not photogenic at all in the slightest. You may find that that perception changes when you start taking more pictures of yourself, because all it is practice and just figuring out what angles look good for you and like what lighting looks good, because everything impacts photography. Like there's so many varying factors that contribute to a great photo. It's not just how a person looks. And I think that a lot of you are really going to be finding that. You're going to be exploring that. And if you're not, that's the advice, to explore that and to kind of get a little bit more into that. Like take more pictures of yourself. Ask people to take pictures of you. Like don't be afraid to show off who you are and how beautiful you are, or handsome or hot or whatever, right? Like don't be afraid to show that off, because I feel like there's a lot of people who see it in you, but it's like you don't see it yourself, and they would be more than happy to take pictures of you, or they'd be more than happy to like help you spread your beauty to the world, but it's kind of like you're the only one that's like holding yourself back, you know? And I also feel like some of you may even be in a relationship with somebody who kind of looks like you, or like you guys might look very similar, because you have the King and Queen of Cups here. This is very complementary energy. So there could be somebody, like I'm seeing two people who have their hair like dyed blue. Like you guys may both have blue hair or something like that. I don't know. That was a very specific message. But there is this energy of you finding somebody who's very complementary to you. So if you're not with somebody right now, if you're single with this Nine of Pentacles, I do feel like there is a relationship coming for you, and this person's really gonna help you see how beautiful you are, and just how, not even just how beautiful physically, right? Because there's so much more to you, Group 1, than just the material beauty. Like you have so much more to offer. You've got your shit together financially. Maybe it's not in the place that you want it to be, but you sure as hell are in a place that other people want to be, okay? You know, you've got the physical looks going for you. You've got the career. Like it's just so much. I mean, I don't even think this rainbow here is a coincidence, guys. Like this is very much the energy that I pick up from you guys. Like you're so colorful with the Seven of Cups. You have so many different skills and interests, and like I think some of you guys might have like a strong Gemini placement, because there's just a lot going on. Like you have a lot of things that make you really, really awesome and really magnificent. But that is what I'm seeing here, Group 1. If you'd like to book a personal reading, please check out my website down below in the description box, madamdevoe.com. You can get 50% off your first reading when you use the code Empress at checkout. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.